Hi everyone, this is Jeff from Railway City Hobbies, and today we're doing a video on the Rapido F40PHs. These are NPCUs, Amtrak only. NPCU stands for Non-Power Control Unit. These are also referred to as cabbage cars. Amtrak decided to phase these out, but instead of scrapping them, they decided to pull the prime movers, the turbochargers, everything, the gutted the whole inside of the car body, except for the cab, and filled the fuel tank full of cement, and put a floor in and made a baggage car out of it. Now they had to cut in and put a roll-up door on the other side. So this is again a non-powered unit. You often find these in commuter service where the train isn't wide or turned around. It just runs point to point. The two paint schemes we'll be featuring in this video are the Phase 5 Amtrak swoosh, and this one here, the Phase 4 Downeaster from Amtrak. This is actually a DC unit, and we're also going to show in the video how easy it is to make this into a DCC locomotive. DCC or DCC in sound is the same install. So with that, we will start looking at the details of the Amtrak Phase 4 Downeaster. We'll be right back. So this will be the Amtrak Phase 4 Downeaster version. There's also a regular Phase 4 Amtrak version as well, but we won't be showing it today. So this model, some of the details, we got the train line hose here. I would believe this would be an MU hose on the other side. You got coupler cut lever in behind that. You have ditch lights on either side, which is a modernized F40 feature. You have grab irons on the front here. Grab irons lining the edges of the front of this locomotive, which we'll see from above. Separately applied windshield wipers. You got a little grab above each window pane. Lit number boards. You got your marker lights there and there. You got strobe lights on top, which we'll see later on. We got grab irons on the front here, on the top of the roof here on the front. The AC unit up on the top there, which again we'll see from the top. On the front we have grab irons going down the front of the locomotive. You got separately applied handrails going down either side, the entrance into the cab of the locomotive. You got handrails going down here. There's all separately applied metal handrails to get into the car body. And another handrail here beside the roll-up door. You can see your air tanks here. This would be your fuel tank. I want to say that's a battery box, but I'm not entirely sure on that case. You got your brake cylinder there. On the truck itself, you can see castings in the truck. Same as in the rear. On the rear of this locomotive, you got 3 MU hoses, your anti-climber on the back, train line, air line, grab irons going down the back of this locomotive, and 2 grabs on this side. And this side is the same. You got your separately applied handrails and your separately applied grabs in the front. Your mirror here. Also on the rear, a separately applied grab at the back here. On the top of this locomotive, you got your 2 strobe lights, your AC unit, 2 Sinclair antennas, a 5-chime horn, all chimes facing forward. This is where your dynamic brake fan would have been, and then you would have had 3 fans back here for the radiator. You got lift ring still present. So this is the phase 4 downeaster. So we're going to do a slow run by on this so you can see the detail up close and from above, and then we'll be back with the Amtrak swoosh, the phase 5. Alright, we're back with the Amtrak Phase 5 swoosh paint scheme. All the details will be the same. It has all the same grab irons, except for now we're in a different paint scheme. So the top of this locomotive is a dark blue, so all the handrails and grab irons on the top here are all painted white. Also forgot to note on the last one, also they both have sand filler hatches in the front here. Now, regardless, since this has no prime mover, these sand hatches are irrelevant. They're probably filled in with something for weight. Again, you got your strobe lights, all your Sinclairs, antennas on top, your strobes, your grab irons. One reason they would fill these full of weight is so that they would track better down the rails. Same thing as your in HO scale, if you have a car that's too light on the rails, it just doesn't track very good and usually derails. So we're just going to slowly go around here so you can see some of the detail. You get your handrails going up. You got your roll-up door here. Handrail at the back. White painted grab irons going up the back of the car body. Again, much the same, just a different paint scheme. You got a red sill stripe all the way from front to back and around on the end of the anti-climber here, and as well in the front. You see a little bit of red on here at the sill. Again, ditch lights. So we'll do the slow run by on this, and we'll be right back with the sound and lighting features. So we're going to go over the sound and lighting in this locomotive. So first thing you do, when you put the on track power, automatically the number boards light up. And F8 controls the air conditioner. So we're going to do the sound and lighting portions of this video. So as soon as you apply track power, automatically your number boards light up in the front only. There's no lit number boards in the rear. F8, which is typically your prime mover, controls the air conditioner. Also F8 will allow a lot of the sounds to function. If F8 isn't on, some of the sound functions won't work and some of the lighting functions won't work. We'll turn on F8 to hear the air conditioner. F1 is your bell. F2 is your horn. This will make your strobes illuminate as well. We're going to show this part later. We're going to actually have to raise the camera up and turn the lights out so you can see the actual strobes work better. F3 is your Doppler horn. F4 and 5 you're going to skip. You're never going to use this. This is parts from the typical via file. F4 is going in and out of standby, and F5 is going in and out of run. Don't use it, whatever you do. Especially if you hit F4 and F5, your locomotive just won't run or won't move. F6 is your ditch lights. Now the ditch lights won't work unless your regular lights are on. So we're just going to turn the ditch lights on and off again. And also you notice that the ditch lights alternate their flashing when you sound the horn. F7 will dim your lights and it'll turn your ditch lights out. F9 is your front marker lights. F10 is your strobe lights, which we'll show in a few moments from a different camera angle. F11 does your door opening noises, so this is door opening. And that's door closing. F12 is used when you're using this in a switching application. Again, no prime mover, but this is actually because this can actually move on its own because it's powered, but the prototype isn't. They still included it. If you have F12, it'll turn your ditch lights off, and it will put your front light and your rear light in dim position. Again, you'll probably never use it. F16 is to turn your number boards off. They're by default on. As soon as you get a track power, you can, if you have a programmer, you can change that. F17.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be arriving at our next stop shortly. Please check around your seat and the overhead luggage rack for your personal possessions. Please exit the train as directed by a member of the train crew. We will be making a very brief stop at this station, so be prepared to exit the train immediately when the doors open, and please watch your step as you leave the train. Thank you for riding Amtrak.
So that's F17. F18.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you aboard Amtrak today. We ask that you take a moment to look at the passenger safety information card located in the seat pocket in front of you and acquaint yourself with the safety features of each car. You will find restrooms conveniently located in one end of each coach, while the trash receptacles are at the opposite end. Please be considerate of your fellow passengers and place your trash in those trash receptacles and not in the seat pocket in front of you. There is complimentary Wi-Fi available on today's train. If you wish to make use of the Wi-Fi, please log into the Amtrak Connect service on your web-enabled device. Our quiet car, as always, is located at the rear of the train and is designated by the blue overhead signs. If you are seated in that quiet car, we do ask that you turn your cell phones on vibrate. No phone calls are permitted in the quiet car, and we ask that you keep any conversation to a very low whisper. We now ask that you sit back, relax, and enjoy your trip, and as always, we thank you for choosing Amtrak for your travel needs today.
That is F18. F5, which we can't show in this current operating state, is a brake, which so when you use it, the locomotive will come to a stop. It will hold for approximately 5 seconds, and then it will go back up to the speed set on your throttle. So now we're going to adjust the camera so you can see the strobes on top, and we're going to turn the lights out so they're more visible, and we'll be right back. Alright, and so we're going to show off the strobe lights on their own. So that's F10. If you use the horn, which is F12, or sorry, F2, you can see the ditch lights alternating and the strobes working at that time. Same thing goes with F3, the Doppler horn. So this covers all of the lighting and sounds in this locomotive. Actually, I'm going to turn this sideways, maybe you can see the light a little bit better. It's still hard to see the truck lighting in the front. So this covers all of the sounds. We're going to actually take the downeaster. The downeaster is a DC, and we're going to put a decoder in, a Lock Pilot version 4. and we're going to show exactly what's involved with that as well, because this probably is going to be a common thing to do with this locomotive, is to put a lock pilot in, because some are saying why pay the extra money for the sound when you're just getting the horn and bell. So we're going to show this as well. So we'll be right back with the install. So we're going to show you how to change this locomotive to DCC non-sound or DCC with sound. So we've taken the coupler pockets out. So the first thing you do is you get in your fingers under here and you spread the body a little bit in the front and then spread it in the back to release the clips, and work the back up first. Just gotta gently get her loose, and we have to spread the front a little bit more. It's hooked on something. There you go. So it is doable. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to work it back and forth to get it off, and so now you start to take it out or take off the speaker. So again, this is a factory DC unit. It already is pre-wired for sound, so the speakers are already inserted. So what you need to do is you pull back this Krylon tape, like so, and that opens up and you can see the circuit board in here, and you have to remove the 21 pin jumper off of here. So I found the easiest way to get these circuit boards off, the DC jumper, is put your a pair of angled needle nose in, and you get in behind here, in behind the board, and then you pry up and out. So now on this one here, you can see the 21 pin. It is only secured on this end of the locomotive, so there's two screws here holding the circuit board on. This is not fastened to anything else on the other opposite end. So that's a quick insight onto the inside of this board. So now you can put in a lock pilot, you can put in a lock sound select, a lock sound version 4. You could put any 21 pin decoder in here, be it DCC non-sound or DCC with sound. So then once you do that, it's again pre-wired for the speakers are already pre-wired in. So you just drop your decoder in and then reinsert, reset the tape on there for the decoder, and close up the shell. And the shell will go on pretty quickly. We'll be right back with that. So now that we got the lock pilot installed, we're going to put the body back on. So you start with the front, lined up with the front. And then, so the body's on, I just set it down here, and this side snap down, and the front side snap down. So you'll notice that when the body is in place, you'll see like you'll hear a snap, and you'll actually see the two tabs here. It'll push the body in, and the body will go in here. So these are your two tabs for removing the locomotive that holds the shell. So we're going to reinstall the coupler pockets and we'll do the program for this. If you need the Lock Pilot program for yourself, just email us at railwaycityhobbies@hotmail.com and we'll gladly send you a copy of the Lock Pilot file for this, or you can also contact Rapido and they can get it for you as well. So we'll be right back. Alright, so we're at the pull bar segment now. Now, again, we know that these locomotives by default were prime moverless, but you can you'll be able to use this locomotive in your consist to help push the train along. So, without further ado, we're going to start her up. So the first pull. And we have an 80-gram pull. And we use the brake. Release the brake. And looks like we got a 75. And the last pull. Alright, we have 75, so conclusively we'll say 75 on the pull bar, and we'll do the push test now. And we have an 80 on the first push. And that came unhooked. Okay, the second test. Another 80. Apparently this one doesn't want to stop. Okay. And the final. And we have a 75. So we're getting in between 75 and 80 on the push test. With a pull test of 75, and we're getting 75 and 80 on the push. It's pretty equal in both directions. So we're going to weigh this locomotive now to figure out its weight to pull ratio, and we'll be right back. We weighed the Phase 5 swoosh Amtrak that was used in the push-pull, and it weighed in at 452 grams or 16 ounces using average of 75 grams in the push-pull test. We have a solid 6-to-1 pull ratio, so for every 6 grams of weight on the rail you get 1 gram of pulling capacity for this locomotive. 1.6 is a great number. This locomotive is very well detailed, as we come to expect from Rapido trains. We hope you liked our review. Please feel free to comment, let us know what you think. And with that, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Happy modeling.